We've also hit mineralisation of greater than 1 gram per tonne across about 350 metres of strike, and it's totally open at this stage. We've got mineralisation in the quartz gravels overlying the bedrock as well as in the bedrock, and it looks like it's potentially a Canowna Bell analogue. So we're very excited by the potential of that.
Well, hello, welcome to Assay TV. Today, I'm delighted to be joined once again by Ed Turner, who is the CEO of Kingwest Resources. Kingwest is exploring and developing a number of projects in the highly prospective and prolific Eastern Goldfields region of Western Australia. Ed, great to see you again today. We've spoken reasonably recently, a couple of months back, but you've had some news out this morning about a capital raise. Tell us what's happened there.
Yeah, we just come out of a trading hole. We raised $4 million, so with very strong support. So we're very happy with that, and it's largely to really accelerate our exploration at Goongarrie and also Menzies.
Absolutely. So Goongarrie, Lake Goongarrie, tell us a little bit about the LAURENCE discovery you've made there. What have you found so far?
Yeah, it's in the middle of the salt lake. We've found mineralisation over a reasonably large area already with the initial air core drilling, across strike about 500 metres on one line, and then on a line 100 metres to the north. We've also hit mineralisation of greater than 1 gram per tonne across about 350 metres of strike, and it's totally open at this stage. We've got mineralisation in the quartz gravels overlying the bedrock as well as in the bedrock, and it looks like it's potentially a Canowna Bell analogue. So we're very excited by the potential of that.
Absolutely. You mentioned it was air core drilling. So although you can go through the gravels, once you get to the bedrock, you can't drill very far. Are you planning to do some follow-up drilling to dig deeper into that?
Yes, we've got a diamond drill rig planned, a program planned of about 1,000 metres. That's turning up in about 3 weeks' time. So that will drill underneath right into the bedrock and test the three-dimensional controls of the primary mineralisation. So that's very important to do early on in the program. But we've also got the air core rig started again today to test for strike extension. So they'll drill another 6,000 metres north and south of the Sir Lawrence discovery lines. That's pretty important because we've got a lot of other structures there to test. And then we'll do another 2,000 metres of air core on some of our other targets where we got promising results in that first round as well.
Can you talk a little bit more about the structure? You mentioned that there are some similarities to some other projects, and you've got these sort of gravels overlaying sort of a bedrock where you think there might be a sort of a primary gold source.
Yeah, so in the bedrock we did see quartz veining as well as intense chlorite alteration and silica alteration. So we believe we're right on top of, potentially on the top of something very big. And the quartz gravels above the bedrock, they are what we call a deep lead style of mineralisation. So they, looking at the angular fragments in the quartz, which contain the gold, they're very close to the source, or maybe even above the source. So it's if the centre of the system is not where we've already drilled, it should be very nearby.
And in terms of sort of similar projects in the region, you've got a number of big gold deposits and big gold mines nearby. Anything sort of similar in terms of structure?
Yeah, well, the Canowna Bell, which is not that close, but it has the same host rocks, the conglomerates, and the very, very similar structural settings. So that's what attracted us to this particular target in the first place, and that's a 6.5 million ounce deposit. So that's a very good geological style that we're gives us some enthusiasm and excitement to really get in there and drill this a lot more.
Absolutely, gives you something to aim for. But you've also got the Menzies project a little bit further north, and you've recently signed a JV to get that one up and running. Yeah, get one of your deposits there up and running. Tell us a little about what you've done there.
Yeah, the Yilgarn deposit, which is it's got a long history. It's been mined underground from like about 1900 through to 1937. Went down about 600 metres below surface, so it's got some very deep roots. Well, The extensions to that haven't been mined underground, but there was an open pit mine in the 90s. So we've signed a joint venture deal with FMR, who are a private company, but they have their own mill. So they'll do the mining and the processing, put a decline in under the pit starting early next year. And then we get $1 million up front. They put up all the capital, so we don't have to use any of our funds. And after they get their money back, then we do a profit share where we get 40% of all the profits for the next 5 years.
So does that mean that they mainly sort of take care of Menzies while you guys can focus on Goongarrie?
Well, that's just one deposit at Menzies. So that's about a quarter of our total JORC resources at Menzies. But that's the one which is most amenable to underground mining. So there'll be a higher profit margin for underground mining of that particular deposit. The other resources, which are more amenable to open pit mining, we're also looking at how we can best commercialise those assets without spending too much of our own money as well. There's still a lot more potential to grow those resources, and we will be devoting some funds to continue to drill those out. But in the short term, the focus is on Goongarrie.
But to go back to the Goongarrie projects, when do you hope to get the drill rigs turning again there? Straight away?
Yeah, the air core's starting today. So that's 8,000 metres of drilling, and the diamond rig will be about 3 weeks' time. And I should point out that we've booked an RC rig as well, which will come in at the end of the year. Potentially, we can do as much as 10,000 metres of pattern drilling to prove up the resources once we define the structural controls. So that's sort of a staged approach.
And the diamond drilling, how deep will you plan to go with that?
About 250 to 300 metres initially. So we just plan 4 holes, and then we'll have a much better idea about the three-dimensional controls of the primary mineralisation. We'll reassess it from there.
Because the initial air core drilling, which went a little bit into the bedrock, you had mineralisation from the top of the bedrock, didn't you? That's right. Yeah, and across that entire line length, about 500 metres. Absolutely. Well, very exciting prospects for you there, and a very busy schedule of work ahead. But best of luck for the rest of the year, and thank you very much for this quick update on the projects. Thanks, Leo.